You know, some rivers are just, well, they're just rivers. But others? They're characters. They're central figures in the epic story of humanity. Today, we're diving into the biography of one of these incredible characters, the mighty Indus River.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a real head-scratcher. How on earth can a river be older than the very mountains it carves a path through? It sounds completely backward, right? Impossible. But that's the unbelievable story of the Indus. So stick with me, and we're going to solve this riddle together.
So before we get to its ancient origins, let's start with its identity. A river this important, this legendary, doesn't just have one name. Oh no. It has a whole collection, and each one tells a little piece of its story.
Every name here reflects a totally different culture's relationship with the river. In Sanskrit, it's Sindhu, which is the word that eventually gave us India. Think about that. In Tibet, where it begins its journey, it's called Sengye Zangbo, the lion's mouth, which just sounds powerful, doesn't it? And to many, it's known simply as a basin, the father of rivers.
And it really is a father figure, at least geographically speaking. Its drainage basin is over 1 million square kilometers. It's hard to even picture that. We're talking about a vast portion of Asia that owes its very existence to this single, sprawling river system. The scale is just immense.
All right, time to solve that puzzle from the beginning. Let's travel back in time. And I mean way back, to understand the primordial origins of the Indus. This is where things get really cool.
The answer lies in this fascinating geological term, an antecedent river. It sounds a little academic, but the idea is actually pretty simple and mind-blowing. It means the river was already there, flowing along its path before the mountains even started to rise. It was there first.
So try to picture this. 50 million years ago, the Indian tectonic plate is on a collision course with Asia. It's this super slow-motion crash. As they collide, the rock starts to buckle and fold, pushing the Himalayas up towards the sky. But the Indus? It was already flowing right there, and it basically just refused to move. As the mountains rose up, the river's current acted like a relentless saw, just cutting down through the rising rock, stubbornly maintaining its ancient path. It's a battle that's still going on today.
Now, a river that's powerful enough to take on a mountain range, well, you can bet it can also carve out a space for life. And for the Indus, this meant giving birth to an entire civilization. This is maybe its most defining role in all of human history. At its absolute peak, the Indus Valley Civilization was home to as many as 5 million people. Let that number sink in for a second. For the ancient world, that is a staggering population, all made possible by the incredibly fertile plains the river created year after year.
And this wasn't just a huge society. It was unbelievably advanced. I mean, they weren't just surviving, they were thriving and innovating. They engineered entire cities with grid-like streets, built houses out of standardized baked bricks, and even developed the world's first known urban sanitation systems. On top of that, they had advanced metalworking skills, and, maybe most fascinating of all, a complex written script that to this day we still can't decipher. A total mystery.
Civilizations rise and they fall, but the river, it just keeps flowing. So now let's leap forward thousands of years. The story of the Indus enters a brand new chapter, one of total transformation, where this ancient, wild river has been tamed and harnessed on a scale that is almost unbelievable.
That very same river that once nurtured an ancient civilization from the ground up has now become the engine of a modern economy. The Indus Basin irrigation system is the biggest of its kind anywhere on Earth, a massive, sprawling network of engineering designed to control and distribute every drop of the river's life-giving water.
And taming this giant was a truly monumental task. We're talking about building colossal dams, like the Tarbela Dam, constructing dozens of barrages to divert and manage the flow, and then digging literally thousands of kilometers of canals to channel that water out onto the dry plains. It's an engineering marvel. And the result of all that work? Well, the Indus effectively turned the plains of Punjab and Sindh into Pakistan's breadbasket. The entire nation's production of essential crops like cotton, sugarcane, and wheat is almost completely dependent on this meticulously engineered water supply.
But, and you probably knew a but was coming, this brings us to the climax of our river's biography. And it's a precarious and uncertain one. The very same system that harnesses the river's incredible power now puts its entire future in the balance.
Just look at this. The comparison is, well, it's shocking.
Historically, the Indus Delta, this lush, vibrant ecosystem at the end of the river, received about 180 billion cubic meters of water flow every year. Today, because so much water is diverted upstream for farming in cities, that flow has been choked down to around 33 billion. The delta is literally fading away.
And the threats are all converging at once. It's like a perfect storm. The Himalayan glaciers that are the source of the river, they're melting because of climate change. The water that's left is being hammered by pollution and over-extraction. All of this puts the river and the more than 200 million people who rely on it every single day in serious peril.
Now, you don't have to take my word for it. This quote from a World Bank senior water advisor is just chilling. A potential 50% reduction in the river's flow isn't just a small problem. For a region that is essentially a desert, it's an existential threat. As he puts it, without the river, there would be no life.
And if all of that wasn't enough, we have to talk about pollution. The Indus now has the grim distinction of being the world's second largest contributor of plastic waste to the oceans. It's just a devastating symptom of all the pressures this ancient waterway is facing in our modern world.
So we end up right back where we started, with the Indus as this incredible character. It's been a geological force, a cradle of culture, and an engineered machine. Its past is written in stone and silt, but its future, well, that depends entirely on the choices we all make right now. The question isn't just about what the river can do for us anymore. It's about what we will do for the river.